Hi, everybody. Did you know that in just like 2 weeks ago, the Supreme Court changed the way they did business? Now, half of oral arguments are a free for all, which is what it used to be, and the other half, each justice gets to have a turn. And that was in direct response to a 2017 article that looked at language interruptions. They looked over a decade, and in 1990, when there was one woman on the court, 35% of those interruptions were directed at her. In 2002, when there were two, that number jumped to 45%. And in 2015, when there were three women on the court, 65%, let me say that again, 65% of all interruptions were directed at those three women. And male lawyers were more apt to interrupt the female justices. Can you imagine having the chutzpah to interrupt the notorious RBG? I can't wrap my head around it. But that speaks to the fact that we are socialized this way from very early. Girls are socialized to get along, to play quietly, to raise their hand in class. They can be mean sometimes, and to cooperate with one another. And boys are socialized to be more physical, louder, more aggressive. And those differences bubble up into adult behavior, one of which is language. Deborah Tannen says there are two ways of speaking. Males use report talk and females use rapport talk. With females, there's an attempt to have everybody to have a turn, to listen to each other and reach consensus. And report talk, which is the masculine, the purpose of it is to convey information, to offer problem solving, and this is the key, to exert one's dominance or status. And because men still there's a power differential between men and women, that's why women get more interrupted. I would point out, however, that I am perfectly capable of using report talk, and my husband is capable of using rapport talk. It's just that these two ways of speaking are most comfortable to us. And women do things that make them more likely to be interrupted. We use something called female agency, which is before we say anything substantive, we say, if I could add. That gives you 2 or 3 seconds where somebody can jump in. So don't do that. And in fact, in the court, they looked back and they saw that that kind of talk in the female justices disappeared over the length of time they were on the court. You also, if you want to stop interruptions, you can just stop talking and say, Mr. Vice President, I am speaking. Or you can, as you're talking, if somebody interrupts you, just keep going. Over talk each other. I have a hard time doing this. And eventually somebody will drop out. And fourth, if you see these interruptions happening to men, women, less senior individuals or whatever, I think it's your job to speak up and say, excuse me, but I think Dr. Elmore had something that she wanted to say. I commend the Supreme Court for recognizing this flaw and making changes to fix it. And it's my hope that more discussion about this, that then starting in the Supreme Court, it may trickle down and people may stop interrupting a little bit more. That is it for me. This is episode 9 of Everyday Psychology. No interrupting now. Bye.